another talk. So the point is 150 phone calls. How are we going to get to 150 phone calls? So now you have to decide what you're capable of doing. Can you make 15 sessions in your schedule of doing 10 phone calls? Or can you do 10 sessions of 15 phone calls? Or can you do 5 sessions of 30 phone calls? All right. So understand that. So in your schedule, you just got to say, here's what I'm going to do. And a key thing for top representatives and people who want to be stable in our company is not to get excited as much about the appointments as you do about the effort and the work ethic. And so let's say you say, I'm going to make 5 sessions of 30 phone calls. Great. Then what you need to do is you put in your schedule, here's the times where I'm going to take an hour to 2 hours, whatever it takes, and I'm going to make 30 phone calls no matter what. Now, what happens with new representatives is they sit down, they try to set a goal for appointments to set. Like, I'm going to sit down and set up 6 appointments, 8 appointments. And then they get 2, and after flipping through their leads, they get 2, and they say, that's okay, I'm going to leave. Or I'll call more again tomorrow. And they push things off, and they never get to their numbers. And then they're not even excited about the 2 appointments that they set up, and they always feel like failure, and they get distraught and distressed, and they feel like they're not doing the job, and the job doesn't work, and they go into frustration mode. So you can't control appointments. You can control how many phone calls you make. So, getting to our first sheet here. First thing is called a phone log. So, phone log, I'm going to go through it very quickly. You put, before you start making phone calls, you do not flip through leads when you do phone calls. First thing you do is you take your leads, you go through your recommendation book, and you write down every person you're going to call. Now, if you're going to do 30, you go to the 30. So this should take 20 minutes or so, maybe 15, depends on how many people you're getting and how many people you're looking to call. So you write name, the person who referred them, and their phone number. Now, you don't have to call all the references of one person. For example, one person might give you 10 references. 2 of them might be in Brooklyn, 3 of them might be in Manhattan, 4 of them might be in Queens. And so if you're going in Brooklyn, you can say, hey, I'm just going to call Brooklyn people. And you go through your book and you get your Brooklyn recommendations. Ask your manager how to qualify your recommendations later. So you put down everybody you're going to call. You number it 1 to 30. Then the references to the person that you're going to be the person who referred you. All right. Then their phone number. That's it. When you get to 30, now you're prepared to do your job. I'm going to call these 30 people. I'm not getting up from this chair until I get these 30 people called. Just like if you were at another job, they say you need to pick up these boxes, and you don't go home until you pick them up, okay? Or until the time is over or whatever. All right. So that's your phone time. Now, when you call these people, there's 2 things that happen. Either you reach them or you don't reach them. Pretty simple. If you reach them, you check off reached. If you didn't reach them, you check off, not reached. All right. When you do reach somebody, you go over to the next, over this little black line here, and then there's 3 things that happen when you reach somebody. Either they say, call me back, I'm not interested in helping you, or you get an appointment. Okay. So you check off one of those 3 things. By the way, if you want a little side tip, anybody who says they're not interested, you just cross them off the list. You go, your mother has Henkels, and you cross them out. Anyway, makes you feel good. So anyway, maybe you highlight the people who say yes. So then you just go through the list. Go right down the list, and that's a very simple check-off system. And this will, and then when you get to 30, hey, by the way, let's say you call the first 6 people, all 6 of them get appointments. Great. Maybe you can only pick 6 more appointments in your schedule. Set up appointments for next week. Finish your call log. You got to get to the end. And that's when you know that your job is complete. And if you just stay focused on getting, because sometimes you'll make 30 phone calls, you might get 1 appointment. Sometimes you'll make 30 phone calls, you'll get 10 appointments. All right. So the work is not in, or the reward is not in the appointments. It's in the getting the phone calls done. All right. Did you do your job? That's the first thing. Second sheet here is a phone tracker. All right. So with the phone tracker, this has 20 all the way across. So it's a really simple system. You put the time that you start calling, so that's the time in. You put the date. So this will allow you to keep track of are you calling the same people at the same times all the time. All right. So the time you started calling, the time you're done calling, and how many minutes it took you actually to call. This way you can track how long you're actually doing phone time. All right. Now, what happens is a little legend up here. So you call the first person. You look at your phone log sheet. All right, I'm calling Mary Smith. Hi, Mary Smith. Mary, you ring, ring, ring. Mary Smith doesn't pick up the phone. I put a / over 1. I made 1 phone call. That counts as a phone call. They didn't pick up. On my phone log, I check off call back, or not reach. Next person, Mary Jones. Ring, ring, ring. Hi, is Mary Jones there? This is Mary Jones. Great, I'm a college student. I'm not a college student. You need to help me. You have bad knives. I'm coming over. Okay, so she says, I'm not interested in seeing the knives. All right, you check off not interested. But then on here, you would check off for 2, you put a slash, you put an X over the 2. That means that I talked to the person, at least I talked to the person. Okay? They said not interested, whatever, or they said, hey, can you call me back at the summer solstice? Great. Okay, I'll call you back then. All right, so don't actually say great, don't actually call them back. That's a whole other thing on how to handle objections. Third person, okay, you're calling Joe Schmo. Hey, is Joe Schmo there? Yes, this is Joe. Actually, I would say Mrs. Schmo. I would never ask for the husband. So, is Mr. Schmo there? Yes, this is Mr. Schmo. Hey, I'm a college student. Help me out. My manager's going to kill me if I don't get 10 appointments done this weekend. Is there any way you could see me this weekend, Saturday at 5, or would 5:15 be better for you? All right. Well, 5:15 works. Thank you, Mrs. Schmo. Okay, and you write her in. Appointment. Woohoo, got one. Yay. Now on number 3, call number 3, I would put an X and I put a circle. And that circle means I got an appointment. So this call tracker has 20 spots. Okay, so if you're doing 30 phone calls, you just go to the next one. All right. If you're doing less than 20, if you're doing 15, you just put it there. And then this keeps tracks. This way you can look at your hours and say, here's what I did. Here's how much phone times I did. Here's how my phone time's going. I hope these sheets are making sense to you now. And that's the way those things work. Use those every single time you do phone time. And sit down, make phone time a schedule so it's in your schedule. Just to recap, hey, I want to make $300, $400, $500, $600, $1,000 a week. Well, what do you have to do? Get to 2,000 in sales. 2,000 in sales means that even at 15% means you're making $300 a week. But 2,000 in sales with an average order of $200. Now, some of you have higher average orders, I know. If you don't have at least a $200 average order, talk to your manager. How can I sell sets? How can I get better at dropping down? But get your average order $200. All right. So $200 means 10 sales. Then 10 sales means my closing ratio has to be 65%. Again, if your closing ratio is not 65%, talk to your manager. Get it up to that, at least that level, which is very easy to do. 6 to 7 out of 10 buying. Now you have to do 15 appointments, and then just do 15 appointments. By the way, even if your numbers aren't there yet, do the 15 appointments, okay? By doing 15 appointments every single week, your numbers will get better. With qualified demos, married couples by Cutco, like skiers by skis, okay? So see married couples, ask if the husband will be there, set up the appointments together, get your numbers to where they need to be. And guys, you do 10 weeks over 2,000, not only are you in the string competition to win some cool stuff, not only did you just light up your office, not only did you just sell $20,000 in sales and make $3,500 in income, actually, more than $3,500, I'm sorry, maybe around $4,500 in income that you just earned in 10 weeks. That's, I don't know. I can't think of a better way to do that as a college student. So I hope this helped. I hope this gives you an idea of how to do phone time, how to make a schedule, and let's make sure this is the best year for you and for your Cutco career.